Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Ashton Jackson. And in today's video, I felt like if the Dallas Cowboys, we're going to be talking about, I felt like the Dallas Cowboys needs to be successful in this one area on their team. Of course, injury can be the turn of everything. We can have injuries and it doesn't really matter. But I feel like if the Dallas Cowboys want to be super successful this year and have a better year, have a really good year underneath Brian Schottenheimer's first time ever being head coach, although with him having 30 years of college and NFL experience combined. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit more in depth. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. For me, some people might say tight end, running back. For sure, running back people are going to say that if this group is elite going into 2025, people will think the Dallas Cowboys will be really good. But I felt like, shout out to everybody who's been making videos. I know for sure Jay Tuck and everybody that's been talking about that. And people have been talking about this a long time. And in terms of the Dallas Cowboys are at their best when they're able to run the football and play good defense. That's always been the Dallas Cowboys DNA. Going back to Tony Dorsett, going back to so that was the 70s with Staubach and all them. And then you got to go to the 90s. You go with Emmett and you go with that offensive line with Aikman and all them other cats, right? You have to understand that it's in our DNA. And then you said, hey, shut up. Who cares about the past? Okay, cool. We just talk about at least the past 10 years. You saw what DeMarco Murray was able to do from 2014 to 2015 when he won Offensive Player of the Year. He had about 19 plus 100 yards, almost 2,000 yards from scrimmage, just because how elite our offensive line is. Same thing in 2016. What made that team so damn good was that we were able to win time of possession. Zeke Elliott was the best back in football. We had the best offensive line in the game, and that's just what made the Dallas Cowboys unmesswittable. I want to use another word, but they were untouchable in 2016 from an offensive line standpoint, from a running game standpoint, and then they married that with Callahan, run game Moses, to pair that up with the offensive line we had, with the running back that we had, with the running back room that we had. You got to think about it. You had Alfred Morris, Zeke, Darren McFadden was recovering from that broken. Seemed dealing with a broken wrist or arm or something like that, trying to catch a phone, something dumb that I remember some report coming out around that time. So obviously, I just talked about it. Offensive line. I feel that this offensive line first will be better than what it was last year, because you have no choice but to go up when you're that piss poor at running the ball and having that lack of run game creativity, and you get away from the shenanigans in terms of you'll play the best back. This back makes more sense in our scheme. We have a run scheme that matches up with our running back and things of that nature, right? So I feel that just by nature, getting better from Mike Solari, you're getting a better offensive line coach, and you're getting now that with Clayton Adams, where everywhere he's been, whether it's in Arizona, previously that's what he's most famously known for, his most underground work that does not get talked about enough, and it probably should, when he was the offensive line OC for the Indianapolis Colts when it was Andrew Luck's last year in the league. And they drafted Quentin Nelson top 5 out of Notre Dame. I was at that draft in the 2018 draft. They drafted Big Q, and then they had Marlon Mack. They had so many different backs that they had back then, and the Colts were a top 5, top 10 rushing unit. I feel that if Clayton Adams and Connor Riley, I'm pretty sure Connor Riley has, the way people talk about him and his body work as well, not just talking, but the way in which his body work has been done at K-State when we're talking about Connor Riley. His shit, he probably even has a street named after him at K-State. But in terms of, that's great in what you did when he was over there at Collegiate League, or what you was doing in other parts in the league. I just need all that culmination of those great ideas and all that good work you put elsewhere. I need you, when you put on that silver and blue, you got on your hat, on your coach's gear, to understand that I need that same mentality, that same creativity on this side of the team. Like, we need that in Dallas so badly. We need our offensive line and our run game to be elite for the Dallas Cowboys to be good. and why I need it to be good. Not only because history says that when we're able to run the football, but it makes Dak Prescott's life a lot easier. He's a lot better when he's running plays in the center. He's a lot better when you have to account for something other than his arm and him having to force throws into tight windows and forcing our wide receivers or forcing our players to step up. If you have to account for something else with Dak Prescott is just he's just untouchable. You can't really touch with him. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm viewing it from an analytical standpoint. And the Dallas Cowboys are they have not lost more than 10 games when you're able to have a rusher that goes over 100 yards, and the defense does its thing. So for me, run game has to get better, and I think it's going to get better. I think what determines, other than health, for your run game to get back to what it needs to be and what it should be, honestly, for me, is how well can your tackles play? Why am I not talking about my three interior offensive linemen? Because I feel that not if, Tyler Booker comes in and he shows what he's shown on tape and on film, what I showed you guys when he first got drafted, I did film April 25th discussing Tyler Booker. The day after, I had film and I dropped it super early in the morning talking about Tyler Booker and how well he's going to be great. How great he's going to be for the Dallas Cowboys. But then not only that type of mindset and mentality he's going to bring over in Dallas. I feel that with Terrence Steele being 2 years removed from that ACL injury in which he suffered, December 11th, 2022, then you got to understand you get that out the way. Terrence Steele is now playing next to one of the best right guards he's played with since 2022, Zach Martin. And then you got to look on the opposite side. You got Tyler Smith. I feel that is a top 5, top 3 guard in the league. Yes, Chris Lindstrom, add him to the list. Quentin Nelson, add him to the list. Trey Smith, add him to the list. Joe Thuney, add him to the list. But I feel like Tyler Smith is part of that conversation. But just because our offensive line just isn't elite as it needs to be just yet, Tyler Smith does not get the recognition. But then you got Cooper Beebe, who, shout out to Vach, he got one of the best. Not only him, there's a lot of great people that do offensive line work in this community, but he's one of the head honchos when it comes to that, in terms of having an eye for offensive line, in terms of when you do look on film and when you do look at the tape that other content creators have been providing, it does look like Cooper Beebe was playing guard, but at center. Obviously, that's where he was before. Yes, he was a guard, yes, but when you're doing center, you should be doing center-like things, but it comes out we're not doing what we're supposed to at home in terms of coaches are not coaching and things of that nature, right? The trainer, the person outside the house, is raising your kids better than what you should be doing with your own kids, in terms of that's how I'm relating things back to the NFL, right? So no way that Duke Manyweather's these players are just having to go out there and be the best players that they can without the help of their parents, aka the coaches, right? So I feel that if Tyler Smith keeps playing at the level that he does, Tyler Booker just plays up to Tyler Booker's expectations, and Cooper Beebe does not regress and he actually looks like a real center, I feel like your interior offensive line is going to be the best in the NFL. Whoever you want to comment, Philly, San Fran, Green Bay, whatever, I'm not going to argue with you. I don't got time for it. I don't have energy for it. I'm not going to argue you. But I feel like Dallas Cowboys are going to have, if not the best, damn sure top 5, top 10. But for me, I think everything is dependent on your tackles. I think Terrence Steele is going to get better. I think the main person you have the main questions about is your first round pick that you sent on in 2024, and that was Tyler Guyton. I said it right. Tyler Guyton. So I feel like if Tyler Guyton is a main key cog for this, and pass protection, also in the run game, but I feel like you have enough whoopers. You got enough people that can move body at A and B gap already, just on paper. It just needs to come into fruition. You need your coaches to scheme things up. I'm not too worried about the running back group. I don't feel like the Dallas Cowboys are going to get better at that position. They had at least a month, 2 months ago to get better at that. They don't care. So if they don't care, I don't care. I'm about it. they're going to do what they're going to do. I can't stress about it no more. We talked about it enough times on this video, in these videos, how we need to, where and how we need to get better. If the Jones don't seem fit, Will McClain, I can't do anything about it. I think you're just going to have to work with what we got at running back. You just now you just need Connor Riley, Clay Adams to do their job, front five, and you should be fine as a Dallas Cowboys. I feel like you will have a successful season if you have realistic expectations on the Dallas Cowboys. If you think that a successful season can be considered a Super Bowl, that's what my term of a successful season is. But a successful season for Brian Schottenheimer is at least a playoff win. I feel like that's successful for a first-year head coach to come in and win a playoff game. Two will be hella fire, but if we can at least get one, at least we'll be moving into the right direction. So, that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.